Hello, hello! Welcome to my space. I hope you are doing well. So I know what deck I want to use. So we are going to get immediately into it and see what are the messages that we are getting, what we are talking about today, what is the energy, what are the messages that the collective need to be aware of. So, let's see. Receptivity in reverse. Resistance to receiving may be blocking opportunities. We have stillness in reverse. Somebody is very agitated. Inner restlessness may be preventing you from receiving insights. This is related to you and the connection to you because we are in the second place here. Resolve. When you fully commit to your path, the universe aligns to support you. Make a firm decision today. This card turned as it went down. Synchronicity. Let's see. We have surrender. Oh, and it's in the 5th place. So somebody needed to surrender and they didn't when they should have. Okay, we have passion in reverse. Emotional suppression. Let's take 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Very interesting. We have in the place of healing, in the 7th position, we have mindset in reverse, self-sabotage. Then we have empathy in reverse, and we have liberation in reverse. Yeah, somebody stuck here in a situation because they were not receptive. They were very agitated in their connection with you. They showed no empathy, and it is backfiring on them. The empathy in reverse is in the 8th position. What goes around comes around. We have the liberation at the end here. The end, it's the outcome, it's the integration. Somebody's stuck. It's written, attachment to the past may be restricting growth. So, I already talked about it. I kind of feel that it might come back here. That there is someone here who is totally unhealed. Are we surprised? It's amazing how unhealed people are attracted to the collective, right? People who are healing. But on the other hand, so many people are unaware, unhealed, all those kind of things, right? And sometimes they are unhealed of small things, but still, somebody who is not healing, we are going through things in life, and at the end of the day, the healing, it kind of never ends once you start, because you want to purge, right? Healing, it's purging. And so even people who don't have like gigantic child wounds, right? If they don't purge, if they don't heal, so it is accumulating here. So let's see, resolve, passion in reverse, and liberation in reverse. Okay, so I kind of feel here that you needed to get to a place where you decided to end a connection totally because the person that you were dealing with, even though it's passion, and we might be talking about a romantic relationship, it doesn't have to be. But at the end of the day, the person that... One second. Sorry about that. Another... Sorry about that. So, the person that you were dealing with was suppressed emotionally. And so you might have felt that they were kind of dimming you. You might have felt that they were very protective, Or if we are talking about a romantic relationship, it should have evolved at a certain moment, and it didn't. It's like, you know, the fire was burning and then they let it die. But it kind of feels that now there is here some kind of lack of ability to move on. I kind of feel that if we are, it doesn't matter which kind of relationship we are talking about, but at the end of the day, the person didn't expect you to leave, to close the door totally, even though we have a key here. So you kind of try to say to this person, you know, there's things that are not working well. We have the lack of stillness in the connection. This is the second place, right? Partnership, connections, relationship. Yeah, so it kind of feels that there was a lot of agitation in this connection. And so even if you try to talk, because I kind of feel here, we are in the third position. So the driving energy was to try to resolve whatever there was. But, you know, if you want to resolve something and you are dealing with someone who is very protective, for example, or they don't see that there is some kind of issue, it's kind of a problem, right? So, in the fourth position, I feel that I need to Hachum one more time. Do I need to? I don't know. I didn't have one Hachum. Just when I sat here, is there something creating the Hachum? The sneezing, I don't know. Okay. So, in the fourth position, which is the foundation, the stability, we have synchronicity. So there might be some kind of divine timing at play here. It might also mean that you have been pushed to stay in your alignment, trusting the universe, trusting that letting go was maybe the best thing to do. Because we have the mindset here in reverse. There is somebody who is self-sabotaging over and over and over again because they are in the same mindset all the time, and I kind of feel that there is a lot of protection here. The receptivity here is in reverse, so somebody is not open to receive. So it might be that emotionally they are very scared to receive, and it might be that they are just, you know, very stubborn, all those kind of things, right? So the passion died, obviously. 1 second, I want to check something else. We have the receptivity in reverse, the synchronicity, and then the mindset in reverse. You have been very patient here. Listen, you have been patient in this connection. This is what it is telling me. There was a beginning, and then after some time, you didn't want it to end. But I kind of feel that you might have felt more alone while being in the presence of this person. As said, might be talking about romantic relationship, might be talking about family, we might be talking about a friend. It can be whatever, right? But you got to a place where you realized that you were feeling lonely when you were in presence of this person, which is never good, right? Stillness in reverse, surrender, and empathy in reverse. Stillness in reverse, surrender, and empathy in reverse. Yeah, I kind of feel here there was a lot of agitation. You might have tried to adapt yourself in some kind of way to this connection, but you realize that the lack of receptivity, the lack of empathy, the lack of stillness, the self-sabotage, the attachment style, the lack of passion. At the end, it doesn't matter how much you want the connection, right? When this is what you are dealing with, it's difficult to, you cannot hold a relationship by yourself, especially if you don't want the same things, or if you are the kind of person to be in awareness, self-awareness, healing, all those kind of things, and you are dealing with someone that is not, right? It's an issue, and it doesn't matter if we are talking about a romantic relationship, a friend, a partner, a family. It doesn't matter. 1 second, please. I'm back. I just needed to take care of my nose because it was bothering me. I need to be able to breathe if I'm doing those readings. Okay, so we are going to get a little bit deeper into that. I need to get more information because it's not all very clear. Not this one, this one. Okay, this one. So let's see, just a reminder, this is a collective reading, which means that it is a group reading, which means that it might be for you, it might be partly for you, and it might not be for you. So please take what resonates, leave the rest. Don't take on yourself a story that is not yours. If I am talking about masculines or feminines, I am not especially talking about the gender. I am talking about the energy from where someone is operating. So apply it however it applies in your life. And this can be past, present, or future. So let's see here. What's the issue? Receptivity in reverse. Tell me a little bit more about that. Okay, 1 second. Let me put those cards. Oh, they're all in reverse. Okay. Reverse, reverse, reverse. Okay, so we have the Fool in reverse. And we have the 6 of Wands that came out like this, okay? So let me, for the moment, put it like this. Okay, so listen. We are talking about someone who didn't awaken. They are still operating in a very automatic way. They are still operating from a place of their education, of their environment. They believe in what they believe. They are not changing their mind. It's before the awakening. Might it be a spiritual awakening or the awakening of how we are built ourselves, how our mind is built. We are talking here about someone who is not questioning themselves. We have the Fool in reverse. So they are acting recklessly, in fact. They are acting without conscience. Their beliefs are the beliefs. They are stuck into it. There is no evolution in this person, right? Because when we are with the Fool, in fact, we are with someone who is on the verge of awakening to the fact that maybe they are not operating in the right way, that they might be self-sabotaging, all those kind of things, right? So here we are before. So it's somebody that doesn't truly act with reflection. It is all inherited beliefs, right? It is all consequences of what they have experienced in their life. As said, we are not talking about someone here who is healing, right? I don't even feel that they are envisioning to heal. I kind of feel here with the 6 of Wands, however it came out, I kind of feel that this is the direction. But we are talking here about someone who is truly trying to do what they think people around them want them to do. So we are not talking about a person that is embracing their individuality. We are talking here about someone who is totally trying to be the perfect mirror then that they think is expected from them, right? But at the end of the day, the card came out like this. Wait, there is a plane going by. A lot of planes right now. The thing is, at the end of the day, they don't get the recognition that they want, but they are after it. And I kind of feel even a frustration here, wondering why they don't get the recognition that they are craving for. But the reason why it is because if they are just a sheep, so there are millions of sheep, right? To be celebrated, it doesn't just come like that. It comes with accepting to be rejected, accepting to be misunderstood, accepting all those kind of things. Then maybe sometime people will support you, admire you because you are truly bringing something different. But if what you are doing is just trying to give to people what they want, what you think that they want, so who are you? You are a ghost of what you think people are expecting of you, right? So I will put it in reverse because I think that at the end of the day, this is where they are, especially that we see the self-sabotage, the lack of receptivity, the liberation in reverse. Can you see all the cards? You absolutely can. Okay, I can even put them further. Yep, I can. Okay. So, and what happens also here, right, it is that when somebody isn't embracing who they are, there is no authenticity and there is also no receptivity. Why? Because in order to be truly receptive, you don't have to be in your mind all the time. This person is always in their mind because they are always thinking, what are people expecting from me? How can I do in order to gain this admiration? We are talking here about someone who is craving some kind of admiration, right? Yeah, and they might even be craving an admiration from their parents. I'm saying that because I'm attracted to the fact that this person is looking towards the past. So this is why I am saying that. And so they are acting in ways you might have been very surprised by them. Because if you were trying to somehow try to understand them, it might have been very, very difficult for you. Because this person, their behaviors, they don't make sense. Because you are trying to define their identity when in fact there is no identity, because they are just always doing what they think that is expected. You understand what I mean? So when you are trying to define their identity, see them for who they are, there is nothing there. And their behavior don't make sense because at the end of the day, they might have some people that they admire or some people that they want to please, that they want to be admired by. It might be people with very different perspective of life, way of acting that are very, very different. And because they are trying to please all those people or be valued by all those people, their behaviors don't make sense. You understand what I mean? You are trying to define one identity when in fact this person is kind of the ghost of every person that they are trying to impress. I hope that I make sense. Stillness. Exactly. Very interesting. The Seven of Pentacles. This is investing in something, right? Something concrete. You are putting a seed in the soil and you are taking care of it, right? And you are waiting for it to grow, and you are thinking, you are observing, what does this little plant need in order to grow, to give the fruits? Here there is nothing, because this person is only focused on gaining the support, admiration of people. This is all it is. So it means that this person, right? If somebody, let's say that you were in a, let's say we are talking about a romantic relationship, right? So if their environment will love you, they will be with you. If somebody is telling them something about you, even though it might be the biggest schmuck that exists, that it's what they are saying is totally irrelevant, it doesn't matter, they will say this thing to you. Like if somebody's saying, yeah, you know, I don't like the way that your person dresses, they will say something to you, right? When in fact, it's not that they don't like the way that you dress, but because somebody else that they want to impress or be valued by is saying something, then it comes to you. It's the kind of person you don't want to be in a relationship with them. Because at the end of the day, you are supposed to be some kind of perfect image that doesn't even exist. You understand what I mean? So this is the kind of relationship that there is. Yeah, it was toxic. You had truly to you had to free yourself, because there is in this thing, right, that I'm explaining, that at the end of the day, the person is there is some kind of attachment, right? You represent this person. You understand what I said about the way that you dress, the example that I gave. So in fact, for this person, let me remind you that we are talking about a person that at the end of the day, they have no identity, right? They have no identity. They have, chances are they are totally disconnected from their needs, but they might be very stressed out, because when you are trying to numb yourself and you are trying to please everyone, and whatever people are telling you, it impacts you very, very deeply. So you are agitated all the time, right? And with this person, at the end of the day, there is some kind of bondage, because whoever is close to them, right, they feel that this person represents them. So you have to adapt yourself. We are talking here about somebody who is kind of a perfectionist, while in fact they might totally not be, right? If they would be surrounded by people who are not perfectionist at all, this is who they would be. But if they are, when they are, you understand, it's like there is a shapeshifter. It is a shapeshifter, right? But they need you also to shapeshift according to what is coming up at that moment. This person is bonded. They are also obsessive by what people think about them. So, because you are in their environment, they are judging everything that you do through the most critical lens possible, right? So, yeah, you are a leader here. So this is not for you. This is not possible. Listen, when you carry the energy here of the King of Pentacles, it becomes complicated, right, to find a partner. And for sure, this kind of partner, it's not possible. Because you truly need someone that is... yeah, usually you truly... Yeah, it's complicated. It's complicated. Yeah, okay, let's see. Let's see the resolve. What should we know here? Tell me more here. I kind of feel that you were trying here to find balance in this connection, but at the end of the day, they exhausted you. They exhausted you because you might have felt all the time that the connection was conditional, and also they were taking you from a little bit with kind of arrogance, you know, like they know better. This is what represents you. You are stable, you are building your business, you are logical, you are strong, you are patient. And so this person was treating you as if you were inferior, right? Like if they have the right to tell you even how to dress, how to speak, what is okay, what is not okay, it doesn't go there. And I kind of feel that you have tried somehow. This is why I'm not sure that we are talking just about a romantic relationship. Might be talking about the parent of your child, might be talking about family, something like that. You might have truly tried here, you know, to maintain some kind of balance in this connection. But at the end of the day, they were exhausting you. It was exhausting. Yeah. This person might also have been financially dependent on someone. It might also be. Which is also a problem. Listen, when you are in this energy, it's not possible. It's not possible. You need someone who is independent also, right? Someone who leads their own life, at least. At least. So I truly feel that at the end of the day, for your own sanity, for your own stability, you might have tried to help this person elevate in some kind of way. Maybe there was some kind of, you might have seen some kind of lack of self, or a person doubting all the time, right? And so you might have want to help them, guide them, support them in some kind of way. But I kind of feel that it got to a place where you might have tried to put boundaries. Let's say that if we are in a relationship, or we are talking about a parent, for example, right? And they were telling you how you need to dress and how you need to talk when you are a full-blown adult, you might have tried to put boundaries, but we are talking here about someone who believes that they know better, right? Yeah. But they don't. They are just trying to please what they think is some kind of image. Okay, let's see. It's very interesting because we have the surrender here, right? What they should have done. And then we have the liberation in reverse. So we are truly talking about someone I feel very, very stubborn. Right? I kind of feel that there might be some karmic Taurus in their chart somewhere, you know? Maybe their Mars is in Taurus. Yeah, you had to go to calmer waters, listen. Yeah, because you were dealing with so much dependence and insecurity. This is what you were dealing with somebody who is extremely dependent on other people. For their image, their ego. Yeah, it doesn't fit, you understand, the issue, which is not an issue. At the end of the day, it's not an issue because so many people find themselves in relationships that end at the end of the day, right? But here, even if we are not talking about a romantic relationship, the issue here is that you were dealing with someone who didn't want to listen, that when you put boundaries, they might have gaslit you or treated you very disrespectful, in a very disrespectful way. There is some kind of arrogance here. There is some kind of arrogance, and it's coming from the arrogance of someone who has nothing to be arrogant about, right? This is the thing. It's someone that truly, like, if they... But you know what? It's very often the case. People that are so prideful, right, in their behavior, they are arrogant and entitled and prideful. Most of the time, they have nothing to be prideful about. Nothing. And so this superiority complex that they have, it is coming from the place that they feel inferior, but it's like they think that it will protect them, right? And when you refuse to play the game, when you refuse to give them the mirror that they want, it's terrible for them, right? And they treat you of too sensitive, they treat you of unstable, they treat you of everything and anything, right? Tell me about the surrender here, please. Well, listen, you needed there to be a change. There was no change. The death card in reverse, no transformation. You took your time, you observed, you said what you needed to say, you wanted to see if there was some kind of change, and there was nothing. The death in reverse, no transformation, nothing. You were dealing here with someone who was absolutely not ready to change, to let go, to even question themselves if they have an issue. We might totally be talking here about someone of the family. To be honest, this might totally be the case, you know? Somebody that believes that because they are your parent or because they are older than you or something like that they know better, right? When they know nothing, they know nothing. And they don't even question themselves. You know, a person that doesn't question themselves at the end of the day, they become stupid. Even if they might not have been stupid to start with, but at the end of the day, they don't evaluate. You know? A person that is not receptive to anything, that are stressed and they don't even accept the fact that they are stressed, where it's my way or the highway and they are not listening to you and you have to surrender to them while they don't even make sense. They don't make sense. Because if you are asking them, yes, but why do you want me to do that? Because I tell you. Because this is how it is. You understand? Yeah, I kind of feel that it's truly, you know, you have been patient here. You have waited to see if things would change. But at the end of the day, nothing changed. They might have said at a moment, even though I kind of feel that if we are dealing with what I feel as an energy, it is someone who is truly very prideful. I don't feel that they would have told you that they would change or they would apologize. If they would apologize, it's just, okay, I apologize. Can we now talk about something else? Can you just let it go, you know? When they didn't listen, nothing, right? It's not an apology, it's manipulation. It's a way to close your mouth, right? Tell me more here about the passion in reverse. Yeah. You needed to let down the burdens because nothing was moving. It was stuck. You are dealing with a person who is stuck. They are not just stuck, they are stuck and they are restless. So they might be very critical, very judgmental, very agitated, all those kind of things, right? Yeah. I kind of feel here that at a certain moment you realized how caring you are, and how at the end of the day they are never happy, they are always bitter, they you cannot have an intelligent conversation with them. It's impossible, right? Because whatever they are saying, it doesn't even make sense. It's a phrase that they took from this person, and another phrase that they took from this person, and another phrase that they took from this person. And in one conversation and another conversation, they might say the opposite. You understand? There is nothing but pride and image. This is all there is there. And it was truly a burden for you, so you needed to lay it down. Simply lay it down. Tell me more here, please. Mindset in reverse. Yeah, listen. The card came like this, right? You are somebody that is not closed off. You are not closed off. But when you are dealing here with someone that is just at a totally different level than yours, I truly feel here the person who is, I'm sorry about what I'm going to say, but this is what I feel, so this is what I say. Somebody that is stupid and prideful. This is what I feel. Stupid and prideful. So, you can deal maybe with one of them, but with both, it's impossible. It's it's really like I kind of feel that you needed somehow to protect yourself, because they are so stupid and prideful that whatever you tell them, it's like lost energy. Why am I even speaking? I feel that I'm losing my time here, and I'm not just losing my time. It's burning me. It's burning me because I'm listening to so much stupidity of somebody who is so prideful that it's just like you want to slap this person in the face. This is truly what I feel here. Listen, there was nothing there. It was burning you. And I kind of feel that maybe you felt a little bit guilty about that. Maybe thinking that you are not tolerant, but it's difficult to be tolerant but with someone that is so prideful. It's difficult. Yeah. I kind of feel with this passion that they were killing your passion. Your passion for life, your passion for... I kind of feel that you might have tried to I feel that every time that you spend time with this person, afterwards, you might have felt the need to sleep. Because they were draining you. Because they are prideful, so they need you to to admire them, right? And they love to listen to themselves speak. So you have nothing there, and it's terrible because it might be apparent. So you want to share what's going on in your life, right? Not just listen to things that they don't even make sense, whatever they are saying. As said, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it's difficult. It's very, very difficult here. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I kind of feel, that with this kind of person, you might have felt that in order to maintain some kind of connection, you needed to hide yourself in some kind of way. You needed to not speak up when this person was saying things that might be absolutely horrible, And I kind of feel that it was that at the end of the day, you were losing your peace just by spending time with this person. Because I kind of feel, and this is why I kind of feel that it might be like a parent or something like this. Because there is a deeper dimension in that, right? That it's a parent and that they totally lack empathy, right? Totally. They are very agitated, but they don't show it. But it's all coming in very prideful. And so you might have tried to just, accept. But I kind of feel that at the end of the day, it was just negative energy in your life. And worse than that, that you needed to play a role when you were with them, which is also terrible, If we are talking about family, it's terrible. Okay. Tell me more here. What should the collective be aware of? What do they need to hear? Yeah, okay. Yeah, listen. You couldn't avoid what you saw, right? You couldn't avoid it anymore. It was obvious. You saw the truth about this person. You knew that it was also a person that was very, very unfair. I kind of feel that this is also why it might have been so difficult to deal with this person, because even if we are talking, first of all, I kind of feel that they were unfair towards you. So if we are talking about a parent or parent-in-law or something like that, that you could see the difference that they were making, like they were treating one person and how they were treating another person. There is here something unfair. And also we are talking here, as said, it's not a person that has an identity. So if they don't have an identity, they also don't have morality, values, ethics. They have none of that. They have none of that. So it's a problem. Yeah, you had no other choice but to close this cycle. Yeah. Tell me more here, please. You jumped. I will put it back, but the Two of Wands in reverse. Yeah. You couldn't see things the same way. It was... Yeah. It was painful. It was drowning. I think that this is the right thing. It was drowning. Listen, you could see that this person, it was not somebody who was able to take accountability for anything. Right? This is somebody who's trying to get away all the time. If you were trying to have a discussion about something, it's exactly what I told you. If they would apologize, it would not be an apologize. It would be the same way as saying, fuck you. I don't want to hear it. So I will just say, okay, I apologize, so we can move on. When, there is nothing that can move there. There is nothing. You got to the place that you could see that. And you could also see that this person was totally delusional. They were delusional, they were unstable. They were delusional about themselves, they were delusional about other people, they were delusional about life, they were delusional about everything. So, once, this is what I'm telling you, once you see something clearly, and even as said, if we're talking about a parent or something like that, it's very, very difficult to unsee. So you might want to be tolerant, and you might want to be accepting, and you might want to be everything. But at the end of the day, when you are dealing with somebody who's so prideful, it's just draining you. Especially if it's a parent or something like that should have some kind of empathy for you, some kind of interest in you, be a little bit receptive to you. No, we are. This is kind of. This is, if it's a parent, it's a neglecting parent. It's a narcissistic parent, but it might be a covert narcissist. Yeah. Okay. Give me one more here and then we go to closure. All right, listen. It's a sad reality, right? It's a sad reality because here what we are having, it is the King of Cups, okay? This is somebody who is emotionally mature, right? Somebody healed. It is someone who has awareness, who has self-awareness. So I kind of feel, you know, that when you got to this place, right, it might have asked for you a lot of work, right? So you might have wanted to find some kind of way to deal with this person if we are talking about family, right? But I kind of feel that you have a fuse with this person because there is here something. There is even something unsafe with someone like that, right? Because whatever you are going to tell them, first of all, they will hear it however they will hear it through their own ears. And because they are all about their image, right? There are things that you might, you know, if we are talking about a parent, for example, right? You might tell them something about you, your life, something that's happening in your business or a relationship, and you don't want it to come out. This person will talk about it, right? Because they don't care about you. They just care about how it makes them look, right? And you know, it's difficult to have a conversation with someone when you know that every word that comes out of their mouth, it's not the truth. Every word that comes out of their mouth, it is a way for them or to flatter themselves somehow. Most of the time they are talking about other people because what do you want them to say about themselves? There is no themselves, right? So they are talking about other people. They are criticizing a lot. When they are talking about themselves, they just want you to applaud, right? And they are agitated, in fact, inside, but they are trying to present themselves as not. They are trying to present themselves as, I'm cool, I want everything to be peaceful, when it's not the case. It's not the case. Their whole attitude is... It's difficult. It's difficult. Okay, let's go to closure here. Let's go to closure, please. What came out? What was I just talking about? The smear campaign. Yeah, you had to pay attention what you were saying because you knew that they would just turn things in some kind of way, right? But here it comes, right? At the same time that I was asking for the closure, I was also like, why is it coming up? Why do we need that, right? So listen, this person here, they are prideful. I describe you who we are talking about, right? You already know in your mind who we are talking about, right? So of course that they did a whole smear campaign about you, right? You know that. You know that. But listen, they cannot anymore. You know? They did this smear campaign because they need to protect their pride for whatever reason. You might have taken distance, and so they need to protect their pride. So you are the problem. Of course you are the problem. They are never the problem. Right? They are never the problem. It's not working. It's not working. If you are afraid that people still believe them because it is somebody who was close to you, it's not. It's not. Nobody believes them. Right? Nobody believes them. Yeah, they're in total lack of imbalance because they are prideful as can be. And they don't see and understand anything, but they think that they are some kind of superior being, you understand? Yeah, you had no other choice but to take control. You had no other choice. Yeah. I feel that you knew that this person was talking behind your back. You knew that they were smear campaigning you. You knew that there is nothing that you were saying that would stay private. You knew. You knew. We have the Ten of Pentacles here talking about family, community, and we have the Hermit. You needed to protect yourself, right? Yeah, you needed to protect yourself. It's what you did. Yeah, and you are in a great place. Listen, it might have been very, very difficult for you to do that, but you had to because you are truly dealing here with someone who's totally stuck. Totally stuck. And you never needed this person, even if it's a parent. Yeah, maybe as a child you needed them, but because they were not there, they didn't give you what you needed, then you just learn to, do by yourself. And now they might be counting on you to take care of their emotions. At the end of the day, they counted on you as a little child to carry their emotional burdens, right? Because your feelings were irrelevant. And as an adult, it's the same. They still want you to carry them. And it's very legitimate that it creates a fuse in you, right? Because when you were a child and you needed, you truly, it was their job. It was their job, right? So you already didn't have that, and now later on, you need to stay in this toxicity? No, of course not. Of course it is creating you a fuse. Like, obviously. Yeah, you are totally independent, but you didn't have any other choice. You had no other choice. You always needed to make the decisions for yourself. Right? Yeah. They don't understand why you blocked them, why you took distance. They don't understand, you understand? Yeah, but now people can truly see what's going on here. People can see what's going on. People understand. If you're afraid that, they were talking to people and saying things, about you, the reason why you had to take distance, everybody understands, right? Look, we have the Hierophant in reverse. The Hierophant, we are talking about a person of authority. It's in reverse. The worst authority possible. If we are talking about a parent, we are talking about a parent that they didn't have the emotional maturity to be a parent and they should have never been a parent. This is what we are talking about. Listen, I will leave it here. It took me by surprise because at the beginning I kind of felt that we were more talking about a romantic relationship. At the end, I kind of truly feel that we might be in the area of family in some kind of way, right? It doesn't have to be. I would love to read you in the comments and know how it reflects on you, if it even does, but I guess that if you stayed until the end, chances are that it reflects on you. So anyway, what I want to tell you here, and I think that maybe this is why it all came up. First of all, I think that it's healing, maybe just to hear your own story. So this might be the first reason why it came up. If you still feel their energy in some kind of way, yes, you do. You do. Because they don't really... listen, if you know who I'm talking about, they always need to talk about other people, right? So they are talking about you, but just consider that nobody's listening anymore. Nobody has the patience to listen anymore, right? And if you feel some kind of guilt or anything, I hope that this has allowed you to feel seen, understood. Because I guess that you don't get a lot of understanding of those kind of situations, because most people, they are saying things without even realizing the impact that it has. Like, it's the kind of decision that you take easily, right? To take distance of someone that you don't want to take distance from, but it's toxic and they are stuck and they are prideful. Yeah, it's difficult. So anyway, I will leave it here. I'll see you in the comments. Until very, very soon. Bye.